More than a more than a dot.
Welcome to More Than a Dad podcast. I'm your host, Lou Mobe. I'm joined by the coolest guy on earth, Dre Moore,
It's good, y'all.
and we are the Philadelphia Dad Pod, man.
Absolutely.
Shout out Arlington, Virginia. Been
It's
seeing y'all in the downloads the last couple weeks, man. We really appreciate the love from VA. You heard?
ain't that where the Pentagon at? I think so.
Don't get me lying about national treasures and facts.
I think it is.
Listen, man. Let's just get right into it, man.
All right, yeah, jump into it.
How's dad life?
Dad life is good, bro. I've been thinking lately about like the importance of like routines and structure, and like how like like you be having your kids on a routine. Like you be doing stuff with your kids, and like they already like know what's going on.
Right.
Like, oh, today we're doing this, like, or like Ash, she got therapy every Tuesday, so he know like, oh, we doing this on Tuesdays, even though he's only 5, or like he know like this is normally what happens on Mondays, or this is what happens when I go to school. And I think like the importance of like the routine and the structure is like big for him because he knows what to expect. And I think like it's important for you to do that with your kids. I think it really helps that they know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sport guy. My dad is a military guy. My dad's a military guy. Like that's all you have is those disciplines from having structure and routine.
Right.
So like we are supporters of that. You know, some people live to be free and wing life, and I'm nothing like that. So like
Right.
my kids are gonna come up how I come up, and that's with structure and expectations and high standards and routines.
Absolutely.
um, Dad life for me, bro. I've been changing. You know, we'll get into it on this episode. I've been changing, man. I'm a different Lou this year, but I wanted to take my crack at like trying to grow vegetables from seeds.
Right.
So me and Manny, you know, I always drag Manny and stuff just to give him exposure and also give him responsibility and routines.
Right.
Um, to try to grow some of our own vegetables and show him what that looks like. Yo, you could grow lettuce and eat your own lettuce.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You could grow corn and eat your own corn, and like everything don't come from a store. So I'm trying to teach them that, but also teach them the responsibility of, like you have to water them and change out the dirt or add dirt, or they get too big, they go into a different pot, and teach him stuff like that. And he's been enjoying it, man. Every day he's thrilled to go down to the basement. We got the grow lights and the little seed trays, and he like, Daddy, I need a job. What job do I have? I said, you water those over there, I water these. Or I'm gonna move these and you gonna move those. And he's been enjoying it. He's learning to even be gentle, like at that stage the stems and stuff are so fragile, the roots are fragile.
Right.
But he's enjoying taking care of them. So we can't have pets where we live at, so this is the
Because
next.
his pets, the plants.
You know what I'm
Be down there.
saying?
He gonna be down there talking to the corn.
Bro, you know what's funny the other day? Somebody was like cracking a joke on me and more than a dad. It's like, man, get the hell out of here with you and all your guy chaperones. and it was funny at the moment, but like I thought that would be a cool name if that's what was the name of our
Audience.
audience is the chaperones.
Chaperones.
You know what I mean? So I will definitely address y'all as the chaperones from now on because I thought it was hard. I want to get your thoughts on something, man.
There you go.
Here we go, man. Dre, man, take us to the moon. If it wasn't government assistance, would it be more deadbeat moms than it is deadbeat dads?
Where bro be finding this stuff at, yo? Yo, what? I wouldn't say that, yo. I wouldn't say that. I don't think it's a lot of chicks out here that's just. I'm not saying that it's not some, but I don't think it's a lot of. I don't think it's a mass majority of women out here that's just taking care of kids because it's a check attached to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
It would definitely be more though. Absolutely. I don't know if it would be more deadbeat moms than deadbeat dads, but it would definitely be more deadbeat moms than it is if certain things didn't exist. Um, for sure. But as a whole, as a collective, I wouldn't say that because it's a lot of chicks out here that just get to it, bro. That don't get no assistance and they get to it and they go and they get to it. But where did you find that at? I know you came across that somewhere,
yeah,
bro.
it was on social media. It was one of them voiceovers. It was like, you may not agree with what I'm gonna say, but you ain't gonna like this, and that was his take after that. The voiceover played.
It was a guy that was.
There's a guy that was saying that he was like eating some noodles or something. He was like, a lot of people ain't gonna like this. The voiceover was like, a lot of people may not agree with this or may not like this, but if it was no government assistance, it'd be way more deadbeat moms than it is deadbeat dads. And I was just like, wow.
Yeah, I don't think that's accurate. Because like I said, like you got the single moms that get out here and they work 2, 3 jobs to go get it, and that ain't just like sitting home waiting for a check to come. Like it's people that's out here that's doing it, that's sitting at home waiting for a check to come. But I can't really give him that case because it's kind of bugging on that. He definitely a little, he definitely, but he kind of bitter.
Sound better.
A little bit for sure, absolutely.
We talk a lot about like escaping the hamster wheel, the 9 to 5, the paycheck to paycheck living. I wanted to ask you like how are you coping with that, and like do you have a plan to escape this lifestyle?
Yeah, budget better, save, and try to find ways to invest my money to make my money work for me, and just make smart financial decisions. Yeah, being on like especially now, like we in like they ain't even like calling it like a recession, but it gotta be like a recession. Like everything is through the roof. Everything is dumb expensive. You make 100 grand, it feel like you make 40 grand. Like we just living in like a different time, and um, yeah. So you definitely like in the hamster wheel of like really trying to get to it out here to survive and to make it. And you definitely want to get out of that because it's not like a kind place to be. It's not really where you want to be.
I always talk about being conceptual and like being like a strategic person. And to be honest, outside of like in the last year, fighting this feeling was like fighting like a depression.
Right.
Like, and not knowing my real answer of how to escape the paycheck to paycheck living, to escape the 9 to 5 lifestyle. Am I leading the family right? Am I the man for the job? I've been feeling all them feelings for over a year now. And I don't think I'm not the man for the job. I just don't have the answers, and I think that's the part that stresses me
Right.
out.
Yeah.
Is I don't have the answers, and like I don't have like I would probably invest great, maybe if the markets and stuff were better, but like I would probably invest great if I had investable money. Like what I'm saying?
Right. We just don't have a bunch of excess cash laying around, and everything is continuing to go up.
Right, and like. So I've been trying to find ways to counter that. You know what I mean? Like I'm at a threshold at work. I've been in my job for over 2 years, and it's like promotion time to talk about promotions, right?
Right.
And I was having a conversation with you, like, hey, this is the best job I ever had, best manager, best team, most enjoyable work,
Right.
most enjoyable work, most mentorship I've ever received in the field. If I don't get a promo, am I going to self-sabotage myself and self-destruct?
Right.
You know what I mean? Why is the promo so important? Oh, I need, I want to be compensated more. I'm doing more at work, right?
Absolutely.
But if I'm not promoted, am I salty? Am I, like, how do I process that feeling when the job has been good to me? The people have been great to me.
Absolutely.
And it just brought me back to like, damn, it's always going to be another threshold of money that I need. And like, that's the hamster wheel.
Right.
Like, it's always going to be another threshold of like, 120 is not enough. You need 140. 140 is not enough. You need 160. 160. Like, you're going to always be in this.
Always chasing it. You're always trying to get to the next level.
But I'm happy at my job. My job is awesome. Like, that's the first job that I enjoy doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's cool. I'm on the inside of like something creative, and I get to watch these television shows go from just something on paper to like it become a TV show or a movie.
Right, absolutely.
And so it's really cool like to do my work, right? And it sucks that like society will have you putting that amount of pressure on yourself. So like that's been a lot of pressure on me, like, and not having that part figured out. So things that I've thought about to counter some of this stuff is like, you heard me say it in the group chat before, like, as a man, you're not just providing like financially. You're trying to provide, like, if I die, there's a life insurance policy.
Right.
You're trying to provide, you're trying to protect, you're trying to do all these things, but like in COVID, like I said something to you the other day, if the grocery stores just closed this week, do you have enough food for a month? That would be you not providing, bro. Because we depend on the grocery store.
Absolutely.
So it brought me to this place of like my wife an Islander, so we eat a lot of produce a week. We weekly shop because she buy a lot of produce. We can't like bulk month shop or bulk 2-week shop. A green pepper would be rotten in a week or two.
Right, and a lot of frozen foods.
Right, and not a lot of frozen food. So anyway, it brought me to this place of like going double back on with the Manny stuff and us growing our own vegetables. I was like, man, if I could grow a certain amount of vegetables, maybe I could take down our produce costs.
Right.
So now, as opposed to putting all this pressure on myself to make more money, if I grow enough food, then I could eat into our grocery bill.
Right.
So I started
trying
thinking.
to figure out ways to supplement things.
So that's how I was getting creative. So God knows we don't live in a climate where you can really like grow crazy year round, but maybe, that could be, I could take a percentage of that away in the warm months.
Right.
Maybe in the summers we ain't got to worry about green peppers because I'm growing them in my backyard. We ain't got to worry about,
corn and all that.
You know what I'm saying, string beans and this and that and cucumbers, and I'm growing them in my backyard because we probably spending like $70 in produce a week.
Right.
So that was like
you could get rid of that. Yeah, that's big.
That's my mindset, but like instead of self-destructing, like, I'm all in on this promo or not, like it's just, I started thinking more like that, you know what I mean? So,
absolutely.
It just brought me to this thing. I seen, what do you think the modern day rich is? And I'll tell you what I found online. What is the modern day rich?
A lot of money. A lot of money. Rich? Yeah, a lot of money.
So what I found was in this video was the modern day rich is to be have a house that's paid off, debt free, and to grow your own food source. That's the modern day rich.
That's crazy.
So you got people who buy what they call them, mobile homes.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere, own the land that they on, raise animals. They use their whole 401k to buy their shelter, buy their home outright, so you don't have no debt.
Right.
And you live off your land. That's the modern day rich. Because look how many people in society are functioning with high debt. Lawyers, doctors, everybody that went to college, and the jobs are not paying you more than what your debt is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So you're still underwater.
So like, for them to be like, that's the modern day rich, man. It's like, I'm rich because I got 30 chickens, I got 10 goats, I got 5 acres. Our home we own outright.
Right, that's hard.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just thought that was like, it changed my view on what we was out here chasing.
No, that's a fact. That's real. No,
man. Recently, I went to a home buying seminar. I don't even know if I told you this. I went to a home buying seminar where like these loan officers at a mortgage company were talking about the home buying process and educating people in the process. And one of the things that the guy was presenting was like, we recommend that like you have 6 months of expenses saved up. And I like chuckled and laughed in the middle of the
where are you getting this from?
Like, what do you mean? And I was just like, where would the modern day working person save up 6 months of expenses at? Like,
in this economy, nowhere. Everything is too high. As you living way too close to like your debt of your monthly debt is way too close to your income. Right. It'd be impossible.
So what about,
Even if you could save up, say you had a little bit of excess cash, it'd take you years to save up 6 months of just excess. To save up 6 months of your bills fully paid, with the way the cost of living is and everything is now, with the incomes and all of that, it would take you years to do that.
my point is like that for us, that would be our down payment on a crib.
Right. Absolutely.
That's how we get a house. That's how we start our, wealth or whatever, our home
Right.
owning process.
Absolutely.
6 months of our expenses will be our down payment for a crib and our closing costs.
Right. No, that's real.
And like for you to be recommending that, these are things that I ain't gonna lie to you, deter my spirit a little bit, because like, who are these people that could afford that?
The people that already got the money, the people that probably don't even really need that, they probably already got 6 months of their expenses. They might make that in a month.
Like I'll tell you what I'm jealous of is people who get like lump sums of money. Like you ever see people get like huge like income tax returns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've never been that, or people who have jobs where they get huge
Like
commission
huge
checks.
bonuses and stuff.
Yeah, like because every time I get huge lump sums of money, I got to go do the responsible thing with it, like pay a credit card off. Got to go do the most responsible, put it on the car need repairs. I was gonna do something super responsible with it versus like
Just got excess cash to just sit up somewhere and put up.
right. I never get to like do something fun or even invest it, right?
Right.
But yeah, I just brought that up to you, man, because that's the phase of life we in. It's like, mid-30s, people trying to become homeowners. People want to invest. People want to do different things. We already done had kids and established careers.
Right.
It's almost like your natural progression. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
With that being said, man, is the American dream going, bro?
Yeah.
It is?
Probably, yeah. I don't even think people even looking at it like, I'm not even sitting around saying like, man, I'm trying to live the American dream. We kind of like, we trying to get by and just get to the next space. I don't think the American dream really like applied to us, to be honest.
Who would apply to?
Somebody else, bro.
Why don't the American dream apply to us? If the American dream is really anybody could come here and make it. Anybody could come here and own.
Yeah, anybody can come here and make it. Not anybody can be here and born here. And everybody from here that's here isn't going to make it, bro. It's an American dream for people who come to America that's not American. It's like that thing of saying, like, what you say when they be at work, I'm living the dream.
I'm living the dream.
That's what that is, bro. That's the living the dream, bro.
You know what it is? Everybody come here and think of it as such a good opportunity, and we be in here like, yo, this is hell.
Yeah, like, this is ridiculous. Like, but I mean, yeah, you can make it from nothing. A lot of people do. A lot of people come up from nothing and get to it. I just don't know if it's really, like, that prevalent to be like, yo, the American dream is still like a thing, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I just think
like, I don't even really hear that terminology used in the circles that we in.
I stopped kind of hearing it like post college, and I think it's because like student loan debt is such an issue in our generation, and even like recently with the housing market going like super crazy up, like your house. Interest rates have doubled, so you're paying like double in your monthly mortgage than what you was paying 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
Right.
Does that change like how you raise your kids? Like, cause you want to raise them like they could be anything, and they, you don't want to push off your fears on them, right? Cause that's wrong. So, would you saying like, yo, the American dream is going affect or change how you raising your kids today?
Not necessarily, no, because I wouldn't never push my kids in any direction. If you happy with doing something, like, I'm just gonna let you do it. Like, that's kind of how I was raised. Like, my parents ain't never really pushed me towards like no certain type of jobs. Maybe they probably should have. They just more so was like, oh, if you happy doing it, then like you could go ahead and you could do what is gonna bring you peace for real. And I probably do the same for my kids. Like, I would never like push them like, oh, lawyers and doctors make a lot of money, so you got to go be one of those things. I would feel like we can expose them to like the opportunities to do those things. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna always leave the choice with them. I'm gonna always leave the choice with you. Like, if that's not the life that you want and that's not something that you want to pursue, I'm never gonna make you chase that. Like, if this is what you want to do, I'm gonna support it. I mean, you might, like you said previously, you could be a starving artist somewhere. But if you being a starving artist is what works for you, then I'm probably gonna let you do it. To be honest, like, I'm not, because like, it's people. I think it's nothing bigger than like you being genuinely happy about the situation that you're in and happy about what you're doing. Just people that got a lot of money that commit suicide. Not that you speak on it in a light way, because it's a real thing, and like suicide is a thing that's very prevalent right now. But that comes from this thing of, I'm not happy within myself. Maybe I did something. Maybe I was doing things for everybody else, or I was doing things to appease somebody else, and it's not really what I want to do. But I've been doing this because this is what somebody else wanted me to do. So like, I've never been big on like pushing my kids in certain directions. So me feeling like, the American dream is non-existent, I don't really think that it changed how, like, I handle my kids, or how like I would deal with my kids.
I think it changes me a little bit. You just can't let them blow in the wind. There are a lot of wrong ways to do things, right? Like I talk about it all the time. Like, if it's something out here that you want to do that don't really require you to go to college, then why take on the college debt?
Right, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And like, I think that's our job to like expedite these processes, because we are already scarred with student loan and stuff in our generation.
Right.
So like, you might come out and be like, I want to be a photographer. Well, great. I can help you set up an LLC. I can help you market on social media. I don't need you to send you a 4-year college and come out with $70,000 in student loan debt for you to be a photographer, when you should probably just go get to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And like, I stand on that, because it could be anything. You might want to be a landscaper, or you might, because we're assuming that like, college isn't the right for everybody. But like, if you come back and you want to be a doctor, well, you got to go to school for that. I can't like.
Yeah, if you want to do something like that, you're going a lawyer, doctor, one of these
but it's
specific fields.
It's strategic though. Like I was saying on the other episode, like, it's strategic. Like, we're not just applying to any school, and we're not just applying to the schools that are close to home. No, we should probably research
and go to the best schools for them fields.
Best schools for them fields. What are the best cities for these fields? We don't have that in our community. I think we're part of a generation of like, first to go to college and stuff still.
Right. People didn't know none of that.
Yeah, we just happy to go.
Right.
We just happy to have some money to go, right? And like, I think in hindsight, it could have been way more tactical, bro.
Yeah, just think about, like, even when you say that, like, do you know how like you had the experience, so you understand like, if we're gonna do the college route, then this is probably the route that we should take, and this is how we should attack it. Think about all the people that that was just in school for general studies. Like, just in there, like, they major general studies. Probably more than you could count.
Yeah, or everybody getting funneled into doing communications.
Yeah, it's just like, this was that was the thing. Like, I'm in college. Well, what you major in? General studies.
Liberal arts.
Yeah, it's like extended high school.
Gen eds.
Yeah, it's just so like, yeah, you definitely should be intentional what you do, and that's what I was saying. Like, I wouldn't say that like, yo, I'm gonna let you go to school if I know it's that you're gonna do something that doesn't really pertain to school. I'm just more so like, I was never my parents were never super pushy about certain things, so like, I wouldn't be the most. I mean, I do be on them about the grades. You do gotta get grades, because if you do decide that you want to do something school based after the fact, you're gonna need the grades. Mm-hmm. So you don't want to like I did get into a situation where, but I wasn't gonna go to college anyway, because like I said, I took the placement test at CCP and never went back to like register for classes. Like, I went and I took the placement test just because I think I was in like this weird crossroads coming out of high school, and I just really didn't know what I wanted to do. But it was just like, dang, everybody about to go to college. Like I'm gonna just go to college. And I went down to CCP and I took the placement test, and I tested in all, like I ain't testing in no remedial classes. Like I tested in like all like regular classes, and the boy was just like, yeah, you could come back and you could pick your classes and set up, pick your major and all of that. And I just never went back, bro. From that day, I just went to the crib and just was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. But I didn't really have like I could have went to, you go to community, it don't really matter what your GPA is, but I didn't have the grades in high school to get into like a lot of colleges. And had I really wanted to go to college at that, like I didn't, so it was cool. But had I really wanted to go to college at that point, like not a community college, like another, like a 4-year university out the bat, I wouldn't have been able to,
Right.
because my GPA, my grades weren't sufficient enough. So like all of that messing around in school, that would have came back to bite me. So like that's something like I do, talk to my kids about like, like your grades is important. You got to take care of these grades. If you, whether you go to school or not right now, you got to take care of these grades, because if you decide that you want to go to school at some point,
You need the options.
you're gonna need the option. Like community was my option, and like I said, like I just really just wasn't with it, so I just didn't go. But did so like other than that, like I'm not really too pressy. Like, yeah, make sure you get your grades and all that. But if you say like, yo, I wanna be a hairstylist, or I wanna do something, I wanna get a trade, I wanna work on cars, or like we gonna figure out what's the best route to do that. We ain't gonna go to school and waste time.
No, man, I never understood people going to college and like, yeah, I'm undecided. You undecided major?
Yeah, undecided major. That's the same as general studies, bro. That's like
Like,
the same.
undecided. You undecided. This is an investment, and I think that's where I'm nervous at. Like, I can't have you accruing $50,000 in student loan debt and you undecided. Like, either take the investment on yourself serious and figure out what you want to do. And that's the thing. We put a lot of pressure on them to figure that out at such a young age, because they about to be signing their life away with these loans.
Yeah, you gotta go on that joint with a direct, and that was me, and I was so indecisive. Like that probably was me, like sitting there like, what I'm gonna go to college and do, like that. I didn't have no like dream of being no lawyer, doctor, none of that. So like, for real, I didn't have a dream of being in corporate America. So like, me sitting in there, I was like, well, what I'm gonna do? Like, I'm just here because like it's just where everybody else is at.
Bro, you remember we used to have conversations of like, the degree is worthless and stuff, right? And like, and I was just gonna tell you like, bro, I'm gonna make it, and I'm gonna use my joint.
Yeah, you're gonna make it work, but and that's because you already had the mindset of like, this is what I'm doing it for. Like like when you attack going to get your undergrad, like this is these are the jobs that I'm gonna come out and try to get. And when you got your master's, it was like, I'm gonna go for this, because these are the jobs when I get my master's degree, I'm gonna come out and go for. Like me, when I was sitting there looking at that college process at 17, it was like, I don't even know what I'm doing with this. So like I'm cool, gang. Y'all got this. Y'all can have it. Like I'm cool off of it. So like yeah, absolutely. Like when you go into that, you got to go into that with a plan. You got to know what's up. And I agree with that 1,000%.
And I hope that this generation of parents who have experienced school, or their family members experience school, take it more seriously than just he's just going. Or he's doing the spelling. Spelling for what? Is that what they known for doing? Why are we going? You know what I mean? Or
Right.
is
Yeah. Absolutely.
you know what I mean? I hope that it's more strategic than that. You know, like, my daughter was in the hospital, like, just watching all these people. Like, there's a lot of opportunity here. Like, they employ all these people around the clock. Like,
Right.
huge. You know, you go to school for nursing at Westchester, well, Philly right here. It's hella
Yeah,
hospitals and doctors' offices down here. So,
right.
man, I just looking at my phone. Look at what my screensaver is. Educate yourself, grow your own food, get a family LLC, get a family trust, purchase some land, and stay out the way. I seen that and I screenshotted it, and that's been my screensaver for like months. That's how I'm saying, like, I'm different.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I'm
yeah.
changing. Like, you ain't never heard me wanting to fish and grow food, and like, I'm changing, bro. Like, right now, my mindset this year is to like catch a lot of different fish, but the fish that I like, that I think I want to eat, is stuff a freezer with them as a protein source.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And then grow my produce. Like, that's like my mindset until I live on my own land, and maybe I can get some chickens or some quail or something. You know what I mean?
I'm crazy.
Come on, bro.
It's
You
cool. I'm gonna go live with you, bro.
off the grid? No, we ain't gonna be off the grid. I just want to be a little bit more self-sufficient.
Next, you know, we're gonna be shooting the pod. There's gonna be chickens walking through the back.
And I don't even want to be a farmer. I like low key just want to be self-sufficient. They're like, we not dependent on these trucks getting to the grocery store for food. We just had the water scare in Philly. You couldn't find water.
Right, yeah.
And they took $4 water and made it $8 water. Like, what is going on, people?
Yeah, that's crazy. You're right. Somebody pressed a button on something. It might be over for all of us.
Man, go drill you a well and collect some rainwater.
Listen, just gonna get some bowls, sit them Jones outside.
We said, I'm going to get some bowls and set them outside.
Just some bowls, sit them Jones outside, wait for it, and hope it don't hit a drought.
All right, y'all. Until next time, man. Thank y'all so much, bro.
We appreciate y'all for tapping in.
Listen, man. Start y'all. Lowe's be selling plants for like $5 that's already grown. You go get you some lettuce and some kale or something. You feel me?
Listen, that's a fact, man. Until next time, y'all.
All right. Join the More Than a Dad family by following us on Instagram, subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to join our Facebook group for daily questions, motivation, dad jokes, and new dad tips. If you enjoy our podcast, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Be sure to like, comment, and share our content with other parents. Last but not least, make sure you check out our new merch. The link is in the bio of our Instagram as well as the description of this YouTube video. We are truly grateful and thanks for supporting More Than a Dad.
More than a dot, more than a dot.